When Lily tentatively asked to use the bus pass to go to the library the next day, he was quick to hand it to her. After everything she had done, it was no problem. Rain splattered wetly against the side of his tent as he decided where to go for the day. San Myshuno Park and the Spice Market were the only places he would have access to without the pass. The ease in which he had gotten fish the last time he had been at the park made up his mind. He fished until he had enough food for them both. Walking along the bank of the pond alone, he realized that it was the first time since coming to the city that Lily was not with him. Funny how quickly and slowly time passed when you were only focused on finding food. A buzzing sound pulled his attention from his musings. Curious, he began to look closer at his surroundings. The geese in the pond did not seem bothered by it in the least. Noticing movement in a bush, he walked closer to it, freezing in place when he realized what was causing the noise. Bees. It was bees. His mind immediately went to honey. Of course, he didn't know if it would be worth the stings. Backing away slowly, he decided when he got the pass, he would have to visit a library. Turning back around, he began to make his way across the park. With it only being midday, he might actually be early enough to get into the park house. Sure enough, the doors opened for him this time, the visitors board catching his attention, boasting about the family who had gifted the house and land to the city. Apparently, their name was Tolman. He chuckled at the memory that the name stirred and wondered. The story had been told at their last family camping trip. A rich man, Tolman, falling for the semi-rich girl at a party. Then the doom of romance struck both of them. They were turned into vampires by a jealous madman. Legend said they had disappeared forever together. At the time, he thought nothing of it. A cheap romance turned into fodder for teens. Now, as he looked into the bleakness of his future with no family and no home, he wondered what it would be like to live forever, to have time to save his money and actually own a home. Lily's neck seemed to hint at some sort of truth to the story. Laughing again, he wondered if maybe he had had too much sun. Focusing back onto the board, he read over the notices. Apparently, there was a weekly flea market in the Spice District. It was only as he was reading over the park rules from boredom that he realized the kitchen was open for public use, reservations notwithstanding. Excited, he went directly to it. Washing one of the pans, he prepared the fish on the stove, before realizing he did not have a plate to carry it to Lily with. Shrugging to himself as it cooled on the counter, he decided napkins would protect it well enough. Lily's face that evening, as they carefully picked paper out of cold fish, told him maybe he had been wrong. As they ate at Bill's spot, Lily filled him in on what she had discovered that day, pulling out a book on carpentry, saying, "I think if we look for nails and screws on our dumpster days, that will be a big advantage. I mean, this thing has got other ways of making things, dovetails, glue, rope, but the simplest way for us is gonna be nails and screws. Oh, hey, if you can make things, can you make a beehive?" "What?" Probably, if we find the right stuff." "Then I'll call the bus pass for tomorrow," Zayden said. "Bees make honey, and everyone loves honey." "What?" Lily repeated. Zayden quickly filled her in on his discovery of the beehive. Lily grinned. "And with the flea market—" "Exactly," Zayden said excitedly. "We could sell the honey, and—" "Whoa there, Zayden, I just got a hammer. Do you really think I can make a beehive, much less a table, nice enough to use at the flea market?" "Well, it can't hurt to try for it, can it?" Lily shrugged. "I guess you have a point." A flash of light beamed up against the apartment building, catching the bushes, turning them stark in the darkness. "What was that?" Zayden said hesitantly, when no thunder rolled to accompany what looked like lightning. Lily looked over her shoulder. "What was what?" Zayden was about to reply when a guy a little older than Zayden stumbled out of the bushes, landing with a dull thud on the ground behind Lily. Lily moved quickly and was crouched over him, concern all over her face, before Zayden could even stand. "Hey!" Lily shook the man gently. A moan floated up on the night air. Looking up at Zayden, she raised her hands in question. "Hey!" She shook him a little harder. This time, no sound came from his lips. Zayden was crouched beside him as well, at this point. Looking over at Lily, he said, "Do you know where the hospital is?" Lily nodded, then said, "Better. Bill can call an ambulance." Jumping to her feet, she darted off in the direction of the apartment lobby.